Hi Year 10, hope you've all had a lovely weekend. In today's lesson we're going to be practicing some more simultaneous equations similar to the ones we did last week. I'm going to go through three examples that, like I said, are pretty similar to the ones we did last week. They're just slightly fiddly with some of the negatives, slightly fiddlier than some of the ones you might have seen. I would really suggest that as much as possible you pause this video, try and do the question, maybe and then watch it through. You might pause it and do a step and then watch that step and then do the next step, or you might just, if you're feeling more confident, just pause it and do the whole question and then watch it back. It's up to you, but if you try and get a bit ahead of it and pause the video, you'll get more out of that. So make sure you've got a title and a date, pause the video if you need to, and then first we're going to do 3x plus 2y equals 15 and 3x minus 4y equals 33. So I've got a 3x and a 3x that are matching, so I'm going to need to subtract to cancel them out, and I'm going to take the second equation away from the first equation. I could do it the other way around, but I think it's probably going to be easier to do it that way round. So 3x minus 3x is nothing, so they cancel out. 2y, and you've got to be careful with this bit, 2y minus 4y is 6y, and 15 minus 33 is minus 18. Now I've got a nice normal equation to solve for y. Divide both sides by 6, which gives me y equals minus 3. That's only half my solution though. I need to find a solution for x and for y. Remember, I can use either of these two equations. I'm going to use this one because I think it looks slightly easier because I've got a positive y. So instead of 3x plus 2y, I know that y is minus 3, so 2y is going to be minus 6. And then again, I've got a nice normal equation to solve. Get rid of the minus 6 and divide by 3 to find that x equals 7. And there's my solutions. Y equals minus 3 and x equals 7. Next one's going to be slightly different. Again, we've got those matching 2y and 2y. Later this week we'll look at ones where they don't match and what you can do for that. But for today we're going to look at ones where they do match. But this time I've got a positive 2y here and a negative 2y there. I can't subtract them because if I subtracted them I'm going to get 2y minus 2y, which is 4y, and it wouldn't cancel. If I subtracted the two equations, it would give me a new equation, but it would give me a new equation with an x in it and a y in it, which isn't much help. I want to get to an equation where there's only one letter. So I'm going to add the two equations together. Like I said before, I'd really suggest you pause the video here and have a go at the question yourself, and then come back to it. If you want to just pause it and just do one step, the first step, like maybe you just want to practice the adding it together, by all means pause it, do the adding it together, and then come back and watch me add it together and go on to the next step. But really be brave here and have a go yourself. So 4x plus 6x is 10x. 2y plus minus 2y is nothing. And 15 plus 1 is 16. There's my nice normal equation. And then if I solve that equation, it's going to give me that x equals 1.6. I've got my x value. Now I need to put it back in to get my y value. Again, I'm going to pick the top one on this one because I think it's probably a slightly easier equation. I've got a small amount of x. I've got a positive y, more importantly. So 4x, well I know that x is 1.6. So 4 lots of x is going to be 4 lots of 1.6, which is 6.4. So 6.4 plus 2y equals 15. Again, fairly nice equation to solve. Minus off the 6.4 gives me that 2y equals, let's do 15 minus 6 is 9. So minus the 0.4 is 8.6. And divide by 2 gives me that y must be 4.3. Okay, really well done if you managed to have a go at that one. Last example for today then, before I leave you guys to practice it. 7x minus 2y equals 31. 3x minus 2y equals 3. Now, it's a bit of a sneaky one, this one. We've got matching two y's, and they're both negative. So do you think I'm going to have to minus them to cancel or add them to cancel? What do you reckon? I'm actually going to have to minus them to cancel. If I added them, minus 2y plus minus 2y is minus 4y. So adding them wouldn't work. But minus 2y minus minus 2y is the same as saying minus 2y plus 2y. So it does cancel. Anything take away itself gives you 0, even though they're both negative. So I'm going to subtract the two equations. Again, it looks like it's going to be much easier to do them this way round because 7x minus 3x is going to be nicer than 3x minus 7x. So let's take them away. 7x minus 3x is 4x. As we said before, minus 2y minus minus 2y is nothing. And then 31 minus 3 is 28. Solving that equation then, divide both sides by 4, gives me x equals 7. Half the job done then, just got to put it back in. Doesn't make too much difference what I put it back in for on this one. I think I'm going to put it back into the bottom one because I've got a smaller amount of x, but it should work the same either way. If x equals 7, then 3x is going to be 21. Minus 2y equals 3. Now I've got to be really careful. There's a couple of different ways I can solve this, but I've got to be really careful that this is negative and this is positive. I don't much care for, and it's not the only way you could do this, you could start by getting rid of the 21, but actually I don't much care for having a negative amount of y's. I don't really want a negative amount of y's, so I'm going to start by adding the 2y to both sides. That cancels out the minus 2y there and just leaves me with 21 and leaves me with 3 plus 2y. On that side, I'm a bit happier now. I've got my positive y's. Now I can solve it like a pretty normal one. Get rid of the 3. Let's get it to just 2y. Gives me 2y equals 18. And then divide by 2 to cancel that 2. Gives me y equals 9. So there's my solution. X equals 7 and y equals 9. Hopefully you found those okay. Depending on how long you pause the video for to have a go at those, you've probably spent about 10 or 15 minutes on that. And if you're doing this on the period that the lesson was scheduled for, which I think is period 4, then that means it's about 12:20 or 12:25 now. You need to work on these up until 1 o'clock. And then at 1 o'clock, that gives you a solid sort of hour, or because there's no form time really, that gives you just over an hour off to have a well-earned chill out and a bite to eat. So you need to work on these, like I said, until 1 o'clock if you're doing this at period 4. If you're not doing it at period 4 for whatever reason, you need to work on this for about another 35 minutes using the questions from the sheet, and that'll all be in the PowerPoint. So have a lovely day. I will be on my emails, all things being well. If you do get stuck with this, by all means, please drop me an email. And I can't promise to get straight back to you. It depends what's going on, but I should be able to get back to you pretty quickly. So any problems or questions, or you just want me to check something, please just drop me a short email and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Good luck with all that. Have a lovely day, and I will speak to you tomorrow.